what we're doing today is we finished the demo and for the new kitchen for the Anarchist Chef. And the demo, it's completely gutted. It's back to 2x4s on the inside of the kitchen. And we're going to proceed with, we put in the gas line today. That was fun. We weren't able to turn the main gas valve off, so we had to keep our finger over the end of the pipe as we screwed all the pieces together. We just finished that right now. New hot water heaters going on. We had to remove the gas line from the wall so we can finish the demo and bring down the last bit. The French doors are on. That's the last bit of doors and outside project that we have to do on the house. And it is completely done. So, what we tried to do is lay out a working kitchen, because most kitchens just don't work. Most kitchens in most houses don't work from a commercial standpoint. They're not laid out correctly. They're not fun to cook in. Things are usually purchased for the way they look as opposed to how they work. And they're just not good for cooking. So what we've tried to do is to produce a real commercial kitchen inside a house. So aesthetics were important, but the layout is also very important, and what equipment we bought. The main difference between a commercial kitchen and a residential kitchen is the equipment. For instance, the oven. The ovens in commercial setting, the pilot lights are always on, and in houses that creates a lot of gas smell and heat and wasted energy. So they don't usually do that. They have an electric start, and usually the ovens these days have some sort of insulation and convection oven built in. We went with a 36-inch Wolf range. As far as the range itself goes, I wanted 6 burners. I wanted the maximum amount of burners allowable for the space. So no hot plates, no grills, no any of that. I have an outside barbecue for grilling, really nice barbecue setup. So what we wanted was 6 good high BTU burners. I have a wrought iron grill on top, so you can slide the pots anywhere on top of the stove. You can go from one burner to the other without having to lift them up, and you can have all 6 burners cranking at once. Wolf is my favorite brand, and mainly that's because when it comes to commercial kitchens, there's Wolf, Viking, and Imperial pretty much, and those are all good commercial brands. Wolf is my particular favorite because my grandma had 2 Wolf ovens in her kitchen. She had 2 commercial Wolf ovens in her little tiny kitchen, in her little tiny house back in Connecticut. And if you've read the website, you know that my grandma was an amazing lady. She ran Mrs. Somerset's Pies, and she cooked 380 pies a day out of that kitchen on those little Wolf ranges, and they were good. So the Wolf range, the residential Wolf range, is about the same as the commercial range, except it has the electric starter. So the electric starter will cost you about $3,000 more than the commercial version, but it's a good durable range. It's going to last a long time. It'll last a lifetime, as a matter of fact. And it's completely cleanable. You can break it apart. You can pull all the burner units out, clean them individually. You can actually run a drill into the burner unit to clean them out if you spill sauces in it and it caramelizes or anything like that. And completely cleanable. So the next thing that we went with in the kitchen is the hood. We designed the hood around the stove. The hood, for instance, should be larger than the stove. We went with a 42-inch Wolf range. I mean Wolf hood. So aesthetically, it's going to match the stove. And then as far as workability, it's going to be slightly larger than the stove itself, so that as you cook and you create smoke and steam and all that stuff that billows out, it's going to get sucked back into the hood, because otherwise your kitchen's going to get quite greasy and dirty, and you're going to have to clean it all the time, the tile and that kind of stuff. So the main thing about the kitchen was to make it workable. A lot of counter space, a good work area right next to the stove. We put a water supply in over the stove so that you can just fold the handle out from the wall, fill your pots with water. We have the refrigerator right next to the stove area for accessibility. And when you turn around, directly behind you is the dishwasher and the sink. So not much movement. You can stand in one place and do a lot of cooking. Lean left, you're in the refrigerator. Lean right, you're on the cutting board. In front of the stove, turn around, you're at the sink. As far as the sink went, I chose a really large, deep sink. It's got 2 compartments. It's 37 inches across. It's more than a foot deep. I think it's 16 inches deep. There's a grate on the bottom of each sink compartment, so you can drain dishes in it. You can let dishes dry. You can also do all your vegetable prep. You can lay your vegetables in there and you can rinse them off. You can peel all the leaves off the corn. You can husk corn, do whatever you want. You can throw it right in the garbage disposal. As far as the garbage disposal goes, I just asked the guy for the highest possible horsepower that he produced. I think it's a 1 or a 1.5 horsepower motor. I would have gotten one with a pull start if I could have, just the most power that you can get. A lot of people talk about revolutions per minute, but really it's that horsepower, it's that drive. You know that the revolutions are important, but what's really important is that it will keep going through. It'll tear through the bone and the meat and the fiber in the asparagus tips, and it will just grind everything through and process it and shove it out the other end. We compost a lot. We garden. We have a small garden, all potted plants, potted garden, but we keep a compost heap. So at least half the year we try to compost most of that garbage anyway. But then the rest of the kitchen was really designed not only from a working standpoint and an aesthetic standpoint, but also from a production standpoint, because really what we're trying to do is create a home studio. So we need filmability, and we try to create an atmosphere where people are going to be able to sit around and talk about cooking. I can have my friends and my peers over. I'm sure they'll appreciate the kitchen. It's a small house, it's an old house, but it's going to be a really neat little working kitchen. And I think they'll be excited about cooking there. We'll be able to, talk about what's getting us excited and food-wise and produce a nice little cooking show. There'll be a little countertop where people can sit around and watch the food being produced. And the main thing for the house was, it's a small old house and we really didn't have a lot of sitting areas. We had this little funky Italian table that we got. It's from an Italian designer, and it's got 4 little circular pieces of glass that make each place setting. So it only seats 4, and that was about the only table we had in the whole house. We've created a little sunroom at the end of the kitchen that you'll be able to sit and have your coffee in the morning. There's the countertop I talked about that'll seat 2 to 4 people there. We have the little Italian table right in the dining area just off the kitchen. So I'm really excited. I think people will come over and have a good time, both viewing the cooking, enjoying the cooking, and actually have a home that we can entertain in. I hope the people that we have over enjoy the show. Now, I think we should go take a look at the demo before it gets too dark and see if Arturo has the water heater hooked up so we can take a shower tonight and wash all the grime off.